Spoiler alert, if you haven't played the 4.0 Archon quest, this video is not for you. Now if you have played the 4.0 Archon quest, I'm pretty sure you must have asked yourself this question. What the hell is wrong with Focalors? Now as we enter Fontaine, there is something special that we notice about this nation's god. God is not always drunk, this god does not fake his own death, this god does not try to kill his own people, and this god is not locked up. Moreover, this god welcomes us into her own nation by herself. But the problem is, nobody sees her as a god, but herself. Now comes the question, is Focalors really the Un-Archon, or is she just a mascot? Watch till the end of the video to find out. Not 5 minutes into Fontaine and our dear old traveler already ran into trouble. But this time with the Un-Archon herself. The Focalors accuses the traveler of breaking Fontaine's law by releasing a flying object, which is Paimon, within the first 3 days of landing in Fontaine. And then Focalors tries to scare away the traveler by saying that this is a duel against divine, and seeing that the traveler is unfazed, she chickens out of the fight herself. Maybe that's just because fighting is in Focalors' strongest suit. Maybe she's got the brains to make up for it. But that's when we come to the Act 1 of the 4.0 Archon quest. Now Focalors may have put some valid points that did put Lini and the traveler in a stitch, but ultimately she did lose the trial. Not only is it kind of weird that the god of justice herself has to participate in a trial just like any other normal human being, but it's also weird that the god of justice lost the trial. Mind you, that it was Focalors' accusations that caused the entire trial of Lini. So how could it be that the god of justice herself makes such bad judgments? How could the people of Fontaine have faith in a god who makes false accusations and makes a fool out of herself in her own stage? Now Nahida had told us that the stronger the faith the people of a particular nation have in their Archon, the stronger the Archon will be. Now seeing that the people of Fontaine like Focalors but just see her as a mascot and not an Archon, and seeing that Focalors is actually kinda unreliable, could it be that Focalors is actually the weakest Archon of them all? Now if you check the other 4 nations, all of their gods have upheld the values or virtues that they stand for. Venti for freedom, Zhongli for keeping contracts, Raiden Shogun for the persuasion of eternity, and Nahida for wisdom. So it is understood that Focalors must exact justice no matter what. But in Act 2 of the 4.0 Archon quest, we can see that child Tartaglia, Mr. Worldwide Ed Sheeran, bro got accused for no reason and is put on trial for a case that he probably doesn't know even exists. Not only that, we know that when a person in Fontaine is accused, he can either undergo trial or face duel. So why was child not allowed to exercise this particular right, even though he asked for it specifically multiple times and with a lot of enthusiasm? And why was it that Focalors just stood by and watched as child was deemed guilty without the proper evidence just because the oratress said so? Could this mean that Focalors may be the Un-Archon, but she is not the god of justice? Now the way I see it, there could be 3 possibilities as to why Focalors is the way she is right now. Number 1 being that this particular outwardly exterior of Focalors is not who she really is. According to Neuvillette, we know that Focalors has been taking the Fontaine prophecy quite seriously and has been researching ways to find out how to prevent it from happening. So maybe this gremlin-like bratty attitude that Focalors shows towards us is just a kind of coping mechanism that she has adopted in order to hide the grief and sadness that she actually has. And judging by that particular Easter egg where under the fountain of Lucine we can hear Focalors crying, I think this could actually be quite true. Now the second possibility could be that this is not the real Focalors. We all know that it is kinda sus that Focalors did not object to the verdict that was given by the oratress in the case of child. But if you think about it, the oratress was a machine that was built by Focalors herself. So what if Focalors had placed a part of her consciousness within the oratress, and that is what makes the oratress self-aware, and hence it would mean that the judgment given by the oratress is essentially the judgment given by Focalors herself. And that would be a logical explanation as to why Focalors did not object to the judgment that was given by the oratress in the case of child. Now the third and the final possibility is something that I had already discussed in a previous video that I had posted earlier. As you all know, Focalors is a demon from the book of Asgardia, and this particular demon had been promised a seat in the heavens after a period of 1000 years. And now according to the Easter egg under the fountain of Lucine where we can hear Focalors crying, she also weeps saying about how long she should keep enduring a particular something. And according to the Teyvat trailer, Dainslev tells us that Focalors knows not to make an enemy of the divine. So if the Fontaine prophecy is actually judgment which is going to be delivered by Celestia, then it is quite possible that Focalors is going to do nothing to prevent it from happening so that she could finally return back to the heavens. So maybe all these trials are just entertainment for her until the true judgment arrives. And maybe that's why she chooses to be more of a mascot than an Archon. Anyways, that's it you guys. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.